Poland is famous for its historical buildings, including many grand palaces. Pivotal historical figures such as composer Frédéric Chopin and Marie Curie, the Warsaw Uprising during World War II, some breathtaking scenery such as the Tatras Mountains, and its hearty cuisine. Poland impressively currently ranks 13th on the worldwide list of countries with the most McDonald's, with over 500 outlets. This is my experience of trying McDonald's in Poland. It's actually quite a hot day in Poland, so the first thing I want to kick off with was a drink really, just to quench my thirst. The soda range looked fairly standard, so I decided to look further afield. Whilst I'm not a coffee drinker, I was intrigued by the iced raspberry and white choco latte. I'm a fan of raspberries. White chocolate, maybe not quite as good as milk chocolate or dark chocolate, but still it sounded quite intriguing. From the very first sip, there was a very strong coffee flavour. I guess that kind of hits home, being myself not really a coffee drinker. What I would say is the first few sips, you couldn't really taste any sweetness or anything related to the raspberry. Actually, you needed to give the beverage a very good stir and really all the way down to the bottom of the cup, because I think the raspberry flavouring is pretty much stuck to the bottom. So you do that, give it a swirl, and then you do start to get a hit of that raspberry flavour. There's certainly sweetness in there. However, I wouldn't say there's any real distinctive white chocolate flavour in there. If you said to me that this was infused with raspberry and sugar, I'd probably believe you. Couldn't really sense the chocolate element at all. Like I said, I do like raspberries. I don't like coffee, so it's always going to be a bit of a gamble. And unfortunately for me, I think it was a little bit of a fail. After that disappointment, I started to peruse the burger options, looking for a suitable selection for the main dish. I was drawn to their premium range and honed in on what was described as a maestro burger, which appeared fitting since Poland's home to one of the most famous maestros in Frédéric Chopin. There's a couple of options there. You can have the Grand Classic, or you could go for the bacon and cheddar. Maybe I was swayed by the word classic, because that's what I went for. It just sort of suggests good quality. As you'd expect, premium packaging, very neat and tidy. And when you open the box, one of the first observations that I saw was it didn't contain either of the two most iconic famous sauces. There was no ketchup and no mayonnaise. The layers were pretty well defined. There was obviously the bun at the top. Then you had what looked like a Big Mac sauce. Then there was the raw onions. Then the tomato. Then the pickles. Then the lettuce. Then the cheese. Then the bacon. Then the beef. And then there appeared to be a mild mustard, which was then followed by the lower bun. The bacon was crispy. One of my pet peeves is soggy bacon, so that was very nice to see. The meat looked like a really meaty portion of meat, so certainly at least the size of a quarter pounder, if not bigger. Generous pickles, and the pickles, when you taste them, were very refreshing, not overly acidic. That's one of my criticisms sometimes of pickles. Sometimes the acidic nature of them can be a bit overpowering, but not with this one. They've got the balance spot on. The bun was a classic bun with white and black sesame seeds, and it looked like it was a burger bun rather than one of these sort of more modern brioche buns. So certainly if you're a traditionalist, that will please the burger purist. Certainly I'd say it was extravagant without being too much, and that's certainly a compliment. In terms of the sauces, I felt there was the right amount of sauce in there. Sometimes with a burger you can have too much sauce. That of course can lead to a soggy burger, so I was pleased with that. So yeah, I think overall it was a solid selection, certainly a decent burger there, and getting the McDonald's experience back on track. Now, of course, you can't leave McDonald's without sampling something from the dessert menu. That would be almost criminal. We can't do that. As sort of said in the introduction, one of the sort of famous things with Poland is their sort of traditional cuisine. They have this thing called a pierogi, which is an iconic Polish dumpling. Most of the variants are savoury. You get meat or cheese in them. However, they also do a dessert pierogi where you can get like fruits and potentially chocolate in there as well. So I was hoping maybe McDonald's have done some form of iteration, some form of take on the pierogi. Alas, it was not to be. However, there was some hope of finding something of interest when I had a look at the McFlurry options. And I was drawn to a Milky Way based variation. For those that don't know, Milky Way is a famous chocolate bar, which is a delightful nougat centre. You also get a choice as well of sauce on toppings. So it's vanilla based McFlurry with Milky Way pieces, and you can either have it with a caramel or a chocolate sauce. Tough decision. I went for the chocolate. Yeah, looked like a real good sized portion of McFlurry there. They haven't scrimped there, which is good. And I noticed in addition to the chunks of Milky Way, there was also what looked like some chocolate stars in there as well, and a generous amount of toppings. I think I have had the odd negative experience where they've been a bit frugal with the toppings, but that's certainly not the case here. There's a generous quantity there of toppings, which is good. Like I said, I had a few slightly underwhelming McFlurries recently on my travels, but I'm pleased to report that this has certainly restored my faith in the McFlurry. It delivers where it promises. You've obviously got the contrast there between this sort of more solid, hard chocolate coating and the softer, smooth go in the middle, and that kind of works really well. And you've got those stars in there which are a little bit crunchy as well, and then you've got the undertone of the vanilla based McFlurry in there. It worked really, really well. It was a great way to end my trip in Poland. So to summarise, yeah, this one got off to a slightly rocky start with latte, which felt a little bit confused. Couldn't really sense any chocolate in there, and the raspberry just tasted a bit too artificial in there. But we quickly got things back on track with a solid burger offering and then a sumptuous dessert to cap things off. So I think on balance, I think I can offer this one a thumbs up.